ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Welcome. In our previous class, we studied till text 29, right? Okay. So today it is 30th verse, verse number 30, first chapter. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न nor cha also shaknomi am I able avasthatum to stay bhramati forgetting eva as cha and me my manaha mind nirani causes cha also pashyami I see viparitani just the opposite Keshava, O killer of the demon Keshi, that is Krishna. Translation: I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. So, due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of his weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. That is why Śrimad Canto 11, Chapter 2, verse 37, Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatah syat. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani, viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. Okay, we will study the next verse together and then we will discuss a little bit. Verse number 31. न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. न nor cha also, Shreyaha good, Anupashyami do I foresee, Hatva by killing, Swajanam own kinsman, Ahave in the fight, Na nor, Kankshe do I desire, Vijayam victory, Krishna O Krishna, Na nor, Cha also, Rajyam kingdom, Sukhani happiness thereof, Cha also. Translation. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Okay. So first of all, the two addresses that Arjuna used for Krishna in these two verses. In verse number 30, we see Arjuna addresses Krishna as Keshava. Nacha shaknomi avasthatum bhramativa cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. So, what is the reason of addressing Keshava here in this verse? Keshava has several meanings. The first here is the controller of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Ka, A, and Isha. Ka stands for Brahma, A stands for Vishnu, and Isha stands for Maheshwara. Krishna, being the controller of all the things, all the three Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, three Murti. So that way he is Keshava for that reason. The second meaning is protector from the demons. As here we see Keshava, specifically it was after killing the demon named Keshi. So protector from the demon Keshi is one meaning. The inner meaning is here protecting from the demon grief, the grief demon who is deluding my mind. As if Arjuna is saying, the grief has taken over, so it is acting as a demon which is actually snatching my intelligence away. So please be the protector of that grief enemy. This is another meaning. And the third meaning is who has beautiful hairs. He is Keshava. So this is the purpose of addressing Keshava here in this verse. Next we see Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. So why Arjuna is saying everything viparita? That is just the opposite. Why? As Arjuna himself is confessing that I'm unable any longer and I'm forgetting myself and my mind is whirling, which means Arjuna has totally lost the control over his mind and as a result on the body, as we studied in the previous verses also. Vepatuscha sharire me romahascha jayate gandivam samsate hastat tvakchaiva paridahiyate. So how his condition, his mental condition as well as physical condition. So he is confessing himself in this verse. So that is why he is saying that out of this delusion, I am forgetting myself even. So we see when we are extremely deluded, we discussed previously also that out of excess, it happens with us also. I mean, for everybody we have experienced. And these days we see the suicide cases are increasing so rapidly, right? Especially for the young people. In spite of being, in spite of having good educational background, good family, community, everything, why they are terminating their lives by their will. Here this frustration comes, as Arjuna is showing us here that he is absolutely frustrated because he is thinking that what is the use of this war? What is the use of this war? This battle will bring only inauspicious things and nothing else, only unhappiness. No pleasure ultimately we are going to derive from this battle. It is Arjuna's mental condition. So all my kinsmen will be dead. So everything will be shattered. There will be no reason for us to live, after this war. So why? So as here we see in the purport Prabhupada says that when a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? And that is why we will see when Arjuna will say that I'm not going to fight this battle. Uh, call this type of renunciation. Is this real renunciation? Is it true renunciation? What do you think? What do you think? Is it real renunciation in true sense or pseudo renunciation? What do you think? Please, anybody answer? Do you think it is true renunciation? No, pseudo renunciation, right? The renunciation out of frustration cannot be considered as true renunciation. If we are stable in our mental condition and then we can renounce something, then it is true renunciation. And we see in the last chapter, we will see in 18th chapter when the Lord will say about different type of renunciations like tamas, rajas, and sattva renunciation. So then he will say that it is 1847, 48. These are the verse numbers probably. 40, no, yes, 47. 47. When Bhagavan will say, no, it is 7, not 47. It is 7. It is just the beginning of the chapter 18, the last Moksha Yoga. And he says, Niyatasya tu sannyasah कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहत्तस्य परित्यागस्तामसः परिकीर्तितः. The prescribed duties has to be followed always in any condition, and if one gives up the prescribed duties out of illusion, then it is called tamasa tyaga, that is renunciation in the mode of ignorance, which is not commendable at all in any situation. So it is Sri Krishna's version himself. The Lord says in the last chapter, we will see. So that is why this kind of renunciation is, of course, pseudo renunciation, what Arjuna is exhibiting right at this moment, and we very well can understand, because many times we feel the same way. Exactly the same way. So Arjuna is actually representing everybody of us. In different situations, we act like this. Delusion, we think, okay, it is, I really don't need it. But actually, from within, we haven't renounced it. Temporarily, we are deluded. Our mind is not properly working. And that is why we are thinking that it is possible. So that we will see in the next verse. Why is it so? न च श्रेय अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न कांक्षे विजयं न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. That is what he is saying, that oh Krishna, you know everything about myself, and you know that I don't desire for anything, neither kingdom nor happiness, nothing do I want. But still, you are requesting me to get involved in this war. Now see, Arjuna should understand what Krishna's will is. Because as Krishna has come to the battlefield as his charioteer, which means there is full support from Krishna's side to fight this battle. He wants Arjuna to fight this battle, and that is why he is on the chariot, playing the role of a charioteer. And sometimes we are, everybody, confused that what we should do and what we should not do. Maybe what we are thinking in our mind, that I should do this, it is my will, it is not the Lord's will. It is the best option when the Lord's will and our own will is the same. There is no contradiction. But most of the times, we, the normal people, don't understand what we should do and what we should not do, because our mind is saying something, but the actual thing is something else. Lord has planned something else for us, or Lord is thinking in a different way, which we can't understand. So here, the same thing is happening with Arjuna. Arjuna does not understand that come here means it is this battle is going to take place by the Lord's will. I am just a mere instrument in this connection. So it is still not understood by Arjuna here. So we see here this word Kankshe, Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna. This Kankshe is very important because Kankshe means do I desire? Do I desire? So we say desire for results. For results is always the motive for us to engage in any activity, right? So when there is no desire, how can we be in the activity? How can we perform the activity? We don't have any desire. I don't feel hunger. So do I feel the urge to cook? No. So here, as Arjuna has no desire for any result, so that is why there is no motive for him to engage in the activities. And that is why Arjuna wants to say. But we see as a Kshatriya in the Vedic culture, we see a person must undertake the activities according to his prescribed duties. Prescribed duties, that is dharma. And these prescribed duties are according to the varna and now for Arjuna, he was a Kshatriya, belonged to administrative class and a householder, grahastha. So for a Kshatriya, the first and foremost duty is to take part in the battle. And we see here the Shastra says, Dvavima Purushau Loke Surya Mandala Medina Parivrada Yoga Yuktascha Rane Chabhimukho Hataha, which means there are two kinds of people. One, Kshatriya, who dies directly in the battlefield, and the other category is the monks, who has completely renounced, completely in state order of life. So these two kind of people straight away are eligible to enter the sun globe. So it is said in the Shastras. So now we have to understand that Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, must understand this, that I must fight in the battlefield, and in this battle, if I am killed, then it's also good. But other point is there which is not mentioned in the Shastra, that is, what is the fate of the killer? Unfortunately, it is not directly mentioned in the Shastras, and that is the confusion of Arjuna arises. So that is also another, it will be cleared up very soon. So we see here Arjuna has now almost decided to live a life of a sannyasi, a renouncер, which is absolutely against his nature. We see in two places, Bhagavan says that we should always stick to our prescribed duties according to our nature. In chapter 3 and in chapter 18. In chapter 3, verse number 35, and in chapter 18, verse number 47. Here is the verse number 47. These two are almost similar. The essence is same. Shreya Swadharmo vigunaha paradharma swanushtitat swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharma bhayavaha. It is said in the 3rd chapter. And in 18th chapter, the first line is same. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvan napnoti kilbisham. Which means we should always stick to our prescribed duties. And we must go with our nature. Because here it is said, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. If it is not that apparently seems good, and if I cannot even perform it very beautifully, then also I should perform that. Instead of switching over to some other dharma, that is the prescribed duty of other varna or ashram. Like for a householder and a kshatriya, it is Arjuna's duty to look after his family, to maintain his family, and to maintain the subjects as the king or the kingly persons. So he cannot deny to follow these duties at all. So, and here Arjuna's responsibility is even more vast. It is not only about his own family, even the entire population of the kingdom. And moreover, the Kshatriyas, the administrative class, always, the people always want power. Without power and kingdom, they cannot live happily. It will not be possible for him to live a happy life even after renouncing. That is why Bhagavan will say that no, you have to fight because it is your prescribed duty and you must have to follow. Anyway, here in the purport Prabhupada says, he has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. As we said earlier also, that it is out of frustration. This kind of renunciation is out of frustration. And because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. A Kshatriya all of a sudden cannot say, no, I will live on alms and I will just beg and nothing else. I am not going to take care of my family. I am not going to take care of the subjects of this kingdom. No, I won't do anything. He has no right to say that. That is why Arjuna must have to fight. We will see. He will come out of this delusion by the grace of the Lord. And another more important thing here we have to discuss in this verse, that is Krishna. Here in this verse number 31, for Krishna is Krishna himself. Why? We know the meaning of Krishna. Krish stands for existence and Na stands for bliss. So Krishna is eternal bliss. Bliss, Anandam. And eternally, he is also Satchidananda Vigraha, as we know. That he is the Vigraha of Ananda, that is bliss. And that is eternally. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Existence, knowledge, bliss. So out of the knowledge, the highest wisdom, he is always in bliss, eternally. So here, another import is that in Arjuna's mind, that I am grief-stricken. Only possible for you to remove my sorrow. Because you are bliss personified. So it is only possible for you to remove my sorrow. So that this is another reason of addressing Krishna in this verse. And also we So in probably verse number 28 or 29, 28, when Arjuna started saying, so there also he mentioned Krishna. Because of this, because he was already extremely deluded and overtaken by grief. And that is why in his mind, somehow he is thinking that it is only possible for Krishna. So it is, we see in these two verses, a very beautiful thing we notice. That is, uh, we can call Sharanagati Abhasa. That is, it is not complete surrender, but there is a sign of surrendering in Arjuna. And in specifically in the addresses also, the significance, if we study, if we try to understand, then we will understand that the seed of surrender we can see in these two verses. Though Arjuna will describe or illustrate the different adverse effects of the battle by his deluded intelligence, he will try to analyze. We also do the same thing. In a complete deluded condition, we also try to analyze so many things. And that is why we can't come to any conclusion. That also happens. We all have that experience. Understand beautifully that what Arjuna is doing, it also happens with us. So, but this thing is very beautiful, that Sharanagati, that is complete surrender, uh, that Arjuna will actually do in the next chapter. We will see when Arjuna will completely surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord and will take the position of a disciple. Then the complete surrender will happen, and after that, Lord will start answering, start speaking actually in a proper manner, uh, rendering his spiritual wisdom. But here, the seed of surrender we can see in these two verses. Okay, so with this, we will have to come to the end of today's session. And okay, the next day, we have to study a few verses together from 32 onwards. We will study. Okay. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। Thank you.